What's up, everybody? So my name is Vipin. I own Lumina Homes and Lumina Roofing and Exteriors right here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I've been in the construction and real estate industry since I was 18 years old. I turned 29 yesterday. So today's video is going to be on the complete hail insurance claim guide for Calgary homeowners. And I'm pretty much going to be going through a supplemental document again. I really like doing videos like this, so you sort of have a visual to look at as well, rather than just audio. And I'm essentially like, if you want to reach out for this guide, just send us a text at 587-717-1769. Call us. If you want to email or visit our website, reach out to us and I can send this guide over to you for absolutely free. So without further ado, getting right into it. Up on the side here, either the left or the right, whatever I feel like it. We are at my home library today because there's 12 to 14 centimeters of snow scheduled and everybody's working from home. You know, try to keep everybody safe, keep the roads as clear as possible, and save everybody some time. Step 1, assess the damage. So as soon as it's safe to do so, walk your entire property and look for signs of hail damage. Document everything with photos and written notes before anything is moved or repaired. And now I want to be clear. Do this once it's safe. Don't go outside and risk getting hurt with hail. You know, if it's raining excessively, don't be outside trying to do this. You might miss things anyways. So don't go climbing on your roof in wet conditions either. I can't stress it. Like most deaths happen under, I think it's 18 feet. So if you have a 2-story house, don't do it. If you're on a bungalow, most likely you're reaching right around that 15 to 18 foot mark. Don't do it again, right? Walk your entire property. Look for dented or cracked shingles on your roof, dented eaves troughs and downspouts, damaged siding. So if you have vinyl siding, you know, look for little parts where like the vinyl siding has literally chipped off. If you have stucco, look for cracks and breaks in the stucco itself. If you have like hardy or in hardy, you can look for paint damage. Essentially, that's what you'll be dealing with. There could be some chips as well, depending on the size of the hail. Look for damage to your windows if they're broken, if they're cracked, the glass as well as the vinyl that runs around it. Look for damage to your deck, your AC unit, your skylight, as well as your fence, and anything else that's covered by your policy. So I've seen some policies where they're so great they cover personal effects as well. So that's like your patio furniture, your gazebo, or if you have things like that outside. And here's the most important thing. So the reason I stress this and I've made it step 1 is that like you should be documenting everything. And that's the whole point of this document as well. So take photos, take videos, note the date. The more evidence you have, the stronger your claim. Think of it this way. If you can see it, photograph it, right? If you can't see it, have a professional look at it. That's literally what we do free of charge. So the link's in the description for our website. Again, reach out to us. Step number 2. So there's a little section in this document as well for notes. So there's a part that I added where you can check off yes or no for photos taken. Step number 2 is to contact your insurance provider. So call your insurance company. Don't wait on this. Most major insurances like Intact, Aviva, Wawanisa, TD, they all have 24/7 claim lines or online portals where you can file right away. And so when you call, here's what to have ready: your policy number, the date of the hailstorm, a brief description of the damage, roof, siding, gutters, windows. And then what they'll do is they'll give you a claim number. Write this down. You're going to need it constantly throughout the process. And here's an insider tip from someone who's been on hundreds of these claims. File early. Seriously. The last hailstorm, I had my parents were actually in the hail zone. I had them on the phone while the hail was coming down. Honestly, you know, like after a big storm event, especially in Calgary, like we have some really major hailstorms. We have some that aren't so big. Some of the major ones, like adjusters get backed up fast. I know clients who are dealing with their adjuster for 8+ months, still trying to get everything sorted. And a lot of times these claims also fall in the summer months. So it's people going, like your adjusters going on vacation with their family, their kids who are off from school only during that time frame. The last major hailstorm was August 5th, 2024. Again, tail end of summer, right? Everybody's going on vacation. You're going through adjusters. So file early, get in the queue as quickly as you can. The sooner you report, the sooner you'll have an adjuster out to do an inspection. So don't worry if you don't have all the details figured out. That's what the adjuster's visit is for. Step number 3. I also added a little section to step 2 here, so you can write down your insurance company, policy number, the claims line, portal, the date reported, the claim number assigned, and your rep name. All of these things are important. You want to keep everything documented, so if you do have issues, you can actually go back and forth and have all the information in one place. And that's why I kind of built up this document here. So moving on to step number 3. And I can't stress this enough, document everything, right? I said this before as well. Keep every single email from your insurance company, every phone call, write down the date, time, and who you spoke to. Take notes, right? The little table here, it's like a communication log. And pretty much you just document every single time you spoke to and who you spoke to. And here's another side tip as well. If you have to do emergency repairs to prevent further damage, so like if you have a skylight that was broken, you have to tarp it down, or if you have a broken window that you have to board up, or whatever else damages that you need to do, whereas like other weathering would cause more damages over time, keep those receipts. Most policies will reimburse those emergency costs, but only if you have proof. You can't just make it up, right? So I've seen claims get complicated simply because homeowners threw out receipts or didn't save their emails. Don't be that person. Print it out if you need to, or make like a separate folder in your email where you can store all of these emails, incoming and outgoing. Again, if you have this document, this kind of helps you with everything and who you spoke with. So yeah, moving on to step number 4. Your insurance company is going to send out an adjuster, someone whose job is to come assess the damage and determine what the claim is worth. Now, in recent hailstorms, I've also seen that smaller companies that are mainly based in Eastern Canada, or who don't have big offices, or if they're not a big enough provider, they might tell you to request an inspection from a roofing company local to you. And that's where it kind of gets complicated, because you have to reach out to a contractor. A lot of people do charge for that. And again, when it does hail, everybody gets extremely backed up, or at least the reputable people, right? So some companies might not even send an adjuster out. Most do. So if they're not sending an adjuster, again, reach out to us. We can do your inspection for you. We can deal with your insurance company and run through all of the steps and be in your side of the ring. If they send out an adjuster, this is what happens. First, adjusters are sometimes third party. They're not direct employees of the insurer themselves. They're professionals, but they're busy, especially after a major storm event. Second, you or someone you trust should be there during the visit. Again, it's hit or miss. Like if you can't, obviously don't be skipping out of work, losing money and running away from your obligations to be there for it. Like, don't be doing that. But again, try to be there, be present, walk through the damage with them, point out everything that you noticed and documented in step 1 as well. If you can't, that's okay as well, but you're going to have to make sure that you thoroughly go through your scope of work that they provide. Third, this is important. It's worth having a roofing contractor who you've communicated with prior to as well, or that you trust, so that you can have a third party who views the same thing, and you can have 2 people look at the damage, and both companies are able to list the damage that's pretty much occurred at your residence. So a good contractor will know what to look for, and they can advocate for you if anything gets mixed. We do this all the time for our clients. Again, like the links in the bio, reach out to us, read our reviews. We've been in business for now 8.5 years. I've been in the industry since I was 18 years old, quite literally 2 months before I even graduated high school. So again, step number 5, moving on. There's also a table that I added for step number 4. It's all the adjuster's name, the company, if they're a third party, their visit date and time, if a contractor was present for it, the areas that they reviewed. We've actually had contractors, and we're still dealing with this hail claim actually. Now everything's been approved and finalized, but the adjuster actually missed a whole side of the house. Like, he literally missed the front of the house, and he got the damage on one side. So most of the hail comes from the north and the western sides in Calgary, Alberta. It's because we get our Chinooks from the west, from the mountains, from the Rocky Mountains. So yeah, a lot of the times the storm damage is usually on the north or the west side of the property, not so much the south and the east, the south being where you get the most amount of sun exposure. But again, things that when you deal with someone who has a lot of expertise like us. Moving on to step number 5. This is where you get your scope of work. So the scope of work is essentially the adjuster's report of all the damage that's happened to your property. This document pretty much says what's damaged and what it'll cost to fix it. Read it carefully. Go line by line. Ask yourself, does this match what I saw? Does it include the roof, the siding, the gutters, the windows, everything else that your policy actually covers as well? So it might be handy to have your actual policy on you so you can read through it. If something's not in there and you know that it's damaged, ask about it. You have every right to question the report and ask for a reassessment. This is a moment where having a roofing contractor review the scope of work with you is incredibly valuable. We've helped clients catch thousands of dollars in missed items that adjusters overlooked. It's worth the conversation. And like I was saying, quite literally, we had an adjuster miss a whole side of the house. So that's the gutters on the side, the fascia on that side, the windows on that side, the siding on that side as well. You can imagine how much money that was, right? Like, it's quite literally almost 40% of the claim's value that the adjuster actually missed, because they are really busy as well, and they're humans, right? So it's not that they're purposely trying to screw you over or whatever. It's just that it gets extremely busy, right? The last hailstorm was $3.6 billion in damage, roughly 150,000 plus claims in just the residential side. And then you can imagine cars, commercial, stuff like that, right? So moving on. Step number 6. I also added a checklist to step number 5. So you review the scope of work. You can check it all off. There's items in this table as well that you would have missed, or if there's concerns. Double check everything, right? Even if it's on there, it's worth asking what it is. Step number 6, get repair estimates. So your insurer might give you a list of preferred contractors. You can use them, but you are not required to. So essentially, your insurance company will give you 3 options here in Alberta. Number 1, you go with the preferred contractor that the insurance company has a contract with. They pretty much just come out, they repair the damages. Again, it is relatively one-sided, so there are pros and cons to this. The second option is you pick your own contractor, essentially us. And the reason you would pick us is because we're on your side, right? So you want somebody on your side of the claim, because if there are issues that are missed, or if there's corners that have been cut, if there's things that the scope of work doesn't have, we can submit supplemental documents and make sure that everything that was actually damaged is covered for. So essentially you get somebody to go to bat for you. Now the con to it, being someone who has a lot of clients who are white collar or even blue collar, a lot of people don't want to come home from work, get more estimates, and deal with extra people, right? If that's you and you work a 9 to 5 and after 5 o'clock you just want to check out, that's the pro of going with your insurance company. They handle it for you. But the second option, which is dealing with us, obviously if you pick a reputable contractor, your life becomes a lot easier. But again, there's always horror stories. You always hear about the stresses that you have to deal with chasing after contractors. And again, there are a lot of fly-by-nighters and storm chasing companies, especially in Calgary, we're one of the most hail-prone cities in North America, quite literally. So yeah, you have the right to choose your own contractor. Obviously, pick someone who's licensed and insured. I've made videos about this, how to recognize like storm chasers and stuff. Just watch our other videos. I'm going to save you a lot of headache and heartache. So get more than 1 estimate. Obviously, I recommend at least 2, maybe go for 3 if you want to ease your anxiety. It creates a system of checks and balances, and it helps you make sure the settlement offer you receive actually covers the real cost of repairs. Once you have your estimates, submit them to your insurance company. Obviously you want to see if you're in the ballpark of what the insurance company is saying as well. They'll use these numbers to finalize your settlement offer as well. Again, if the discrepancy is huge, obviously something's being missed on one end or somebody's adding something. So carefully view these. And this is why it's important to pick a contractor you trust who's reputable. Make sure any contractor you work with is licensed. They carry liability insurance. They have verifiable local reviews. Again, after hailstorms, storm chasers and out of province contractors flood the market. Lately, I've even been seeing out of country, which is insane to me. It's absurd. I've seen people moving here from the States just to sling roofs in the hail, which again, I find really interesting because I'm born and raised in Calgary, Alberta. So like I'm local to here. I've been here my whole life. Ever since I've been a kid, we've honestly only had like 3 or 4 hailstorms that actually reached like multiple billions of dollars in damage. We do have smaller hailstorms often, but I don't think it's enough business for anybody to move like countries. Like honestly, maybe provinces, maybe cities, sure, if you're coming up from like Edmonton, Lethbridge or whatever, but to actually like move countries, like uproot your whole family, I find that absolutely absurd. Especially because here's the thing, I've been in business for a really long time. I've been in construction for a really long time. I started investing in real estate like when I was 18, again, 2 months before I graduated high school. Chances are, if you live in North America, whatever city you're in, there's probably a business or a market that you can be extremely like uber successful in. If you're having to move around, I think that's says something about your commitment and dedication to your craft to begin with. Because honestly, I think like that's really the thing. I think business is all about grit, determination. And I also do have a personal channel if you are interested and following along with that. It's the official Vipin Sharma. I'll probably put that in the description somewhere. Step number 7 is reviewing and accepting the settlement offer with your insurance company. So read this carefully. Does it line up with your repair estimates? Does it cover everything in the scope of work? Again, if you're not happy with it, negotiate, go back and forth. You have the right to push back. You can request a reinspection as well. You can bring in your own adjuster. You can ask for estimates from other roofing companies as well. Don't just accept the first number because you feel pressured to. This is your home. Take your time. Make sure it's done right? Like it's probably one of the biggest investments you make in your life. And step number 8, moving on to the last thing. So yay. Once you've accepted the settlement offer, you choose your contractor. Either you're going with your preferred insurance, vendor, or you're going with your contractor that you chose. There is a third option as well. The third option is a settlement offer, and that's usually like a certain percentage of the settlement offer you would get with the first two options. The reason why the third one is different is because your insurance company essentially just pays the money out to you, and they do have to take the risk of you committing insurance fraud, which means that you're probably not going to get all of the damages repaired. You might not even get any of the damages repaired. You might sell the house, you might use the money for other stuff, and they kind of have to assume the responsibility and the risk for that, hence why it's a smaller amount that you would get rather than the first two options. So those are the three options you get here in Alberta. And again, make sure you have a written contract with the contractor that you choose. Keep records of all the work done and the communication. Do not hand over final payment until you're satisfied with the job. After completion, you should have all of your documents in check. There's probably going to be a letter of completion that your insurance company will request, or they'll request like an invoice that shows that the balance is paid. Step number 9, you pretty much just close the loop on this whole thing. So once repairs are complete, you loop back with your insurance company, you confirm all the aspects of your claim are closed out. If there's any final reimbursements, if there was any supplemental documents submitted, you'd make sure you're paid out for them. If you had so this is really important. If you had a bad experience with your insurance company, you do actually have options. You can file a formal complaint with the Alberta Insurance Council as well. So that's important. A lot of times I see people complaining on like Facebook pages and stuff like that. Again, you do have options. You're never left dead in the water unless if you pick option number 3, which is you took the payout and it's a lower amount and you did the repairs on your own, because you have nobody in your side of the ring, backing you up and going to bat for you. So honestly, if you follow this process, you follow this document, I can guarantee you I'm about to ease a lot of stress for you. Work with a trusted local contractor from the start. There's a lot of great companies. I'm not just on here to say that we're the only company that you should pick. And like I've been seeing so many ads where every roofing company in the city is saying that they're a local expert, and just like if I see one more, just shoot myself in the head. Like everybody's just copying each other. And I think speak for yourself, buyer beware. Make the right decisions. The internet's at your disposal. You have so many resources. Pick a contractor you can trust. If you pick someone who is reputable, most of your claims will go smoothly. If they're not going smoothly, again, reach out to us. Shameless plug. Give us a shout. We can definitely help you out with it. So I hope this video was helpful. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe. I'm obviously going to be putting out more of this content for absolutely free. And I feel like nobody's actually doing this. People will show them shingling or whatever, but nobody's actually helping you with valuable information to make informed decisions. So again, I'm not saying you have to choose us. Go with a reputable contractor. There's so many in Calgary. I'm not here to tell you that everybody sucks and we're the best, but we are really good. So if you have hail damage, you're not sure where to start, if you have an exterior project, reach out to us, 587-717-1769. Go on our website, www.luminahomes.ca. Email us at info@luminahomes.ca. Follow us on Instagram, luminahomesca. And yeah, give us a follow on Facebook, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.